It's the end of the day. Mustang Rebuilder here. Yeah, I'm working on a stump grinder again. But before we do that, I want to ask all of you a big favor. Whether you like me or not, or something, you get one bit of information off of me that you like, please like it, subscribe to it, make a comment, as long as it ain't a bad comment, okay? Make it constructive. If I'm doing something wrong or you don't like something I'm saying, make it constructive criticism. If you want to be a, hee-haw, do it somewhere else, hey? I'm trying to help people out. Hey, you can help me out too. If you see something you suggest to me that you want me to do, or something that you suggest that I do it better this other way, hey, I'm open. I'm an old man, but I learn every day. If you don't learn every day, you're an idiot. Hey, my fellow stump grinders, it's January 6th. We've got about 2 weeks of grinding on that new adjustment system on the Bandit ZT1844. 38 horsepower. I used the old Gates belt because it still had room for adjustment. So I'm going to open it up and see what's going on inside, because it started squealing a little bit today, but that's because it stretched a little bit. I had some hard grinding for about 2 weeks and made quite a bit of money in 2 weeks with just that first adjustment. Let's see what's going on inside. But before I do that, I'm going to talk to you about something. This is my other machine, so a lot of guys thought I just run this small machine. It's 38 horse. I have a basically 45 horsepower Bandit with the blade on it. And this machine's about 3 years old. About 600 hours, I think, on this machine. It's produced me well over 300 G. Very reliable machine. I got a couple little quirks in it I'll point out later. Tell you quick little fixes I've done on this machine. Right now, if you're seeing through here, you notice something's missing. My pump. My main pump went out, but that's okay because this machine's used a lot. And sent it out to be rebuilt. They told me it was cheaper to buy another one than rebuilt. Turns out that pump is also used in the oil field industry. When I go to put this one back together, I'll share that with you. I share everything I find out. I share it with you guys, and you guys share back with me. That's what it's all about. Anyway, let me open this one up and let's see what we find. One more thing, this machine runs green teeth, runs 900 series, same as my big machine, 900 series. I'll tell you a little trick real quick on these teeth. All right, these are green, these are those wear sharps. Oh, they hold an edge pretty good, but what I like about them is I can re-grind and put them on my, and re-sharpen them, I should say. And I'll give you a little hint. On these machines, your inner pockets, see there's 8 pockets on this machine. 2 of them are further out. They're your lead cutters. And then recessed in, opposite each other, is a little bit less of depth ones. You can tell which ones are those. Those have spacers in them on each side. All right? The leads don't. Okay, this machine's got about 600 hours on it. And what I find is I always put brand new teeth on my leads, which is 4. And then the resharpened ones, I put them on the recessed pockets. And the recessed pockets don't take as much as hammering as the outer ones. So I always try to do fresh ones. My teeth are worn today because I did a job no other stump grinder would do. And I was grinding a little bit of concrete. I'll try to post a picture on Facebook on the stump grinder site to show you what stump I was doing. All right, and underneath that stump, there was a 4-foot stump had grown over a slab of concrete. And I was able to use this machine, get really close to the building, which is what the company wanted. And let me stop right now. I'll open this up and let's see what we find. The cover's off. One thing about the cover I want to let people know, I used my Harbor Freight Earthquake 3/8 ratchet I keep in the truck, make it fast, take it off easy. But there's something else I do. I go to my local nut and bolt supplier. I think these are 1/2-inch head, but I'm not sure what size they actually are, but you can take your old one there. See these little lines on here? Those grab. Basically, it's a locking flared head, okay? And this locks on the steel. These things are gonna vibrate out. You're gonna lose them one by one or whatever. Just buy yourself a small box like I did. Keep them in your truck. And you know what? That way you keep it. You don't want this cover coming off or vibrating or getting loose enough to where it gets into your pulleys, okay, while you're grinding. Just keep it simple, stupid, okay? Now here's adjuster. Somebody commented to me on YouTube and asked me to show how to adjust it. Hopefully they have the new adjuster on their machine. You can see I still have adjustment area ready to go here with that slot, and I have a lot of room left on here, okay? Now, someone else on our Facebook site about stump grinding showed a picture of this hitting this up here, and he couldn't get it to adjust anymore. Well, this here is only held with one bolt, okay? Mine's tight, but not super tight, okay? And it's got a locking nut behind it. You just tap this down a little bit, a piece of wood or a hammer at that edge, because it's got a slot in it, you see? Right there. So we can pivot. And it pivots down a little bit. This will be able to swing down more, okay? And you notice my adjustment rod is on the top of this, okay? Not on the bottom. All right. It shows in the manual a picture of it both ways, but I put it that way, okay? And, you know, to redo this with the factory kit, I gotta be very honest with you, it took me every bit of about 4 hours to do this, because I pulled the pulleys off, and I worked on it. I took the shield off. I did it to where I laid that on a bench. I think I told you all night, grounded. And I'll just show you real quick here. If you're going to modify yours with the new kit, this is that template they give you. All right, shows you where, and you have a PDF file for it. I also had from Harbor Freight to clean up after I made my cuts. All right, angle grinder with those screw-on discs. I also had a die grinder with a, I bought it at Harbor Freight. Right there it is, right there, with some rasps. That steel on there was pretty tough. It wears them out. I think I could be able to do one more with it, but hey, it was only like $5-6 for that set. It's a cheap ass set. Okay, if you go to a machine shop or a proper place, you can buy some high strength tool steel stuff. Anyway, that's it. Now the person was asking about how to adjust this. This is an older belt, the belt I had on the older system, so it had a lot of slack in it, and it could not be adjusted before. I still got it, and with the new system, I can still use the older belt and still adjust. All you do is loosen this one up. It's 9/16, and then like I showed you before, I've got the ratcheting wrenches. You come in here and you start tightening it up, and you'll see it move. I mark it. I'm not going to adjust it on the camera. I'm one-handed here, okay? And I think in your manual it will tell you that you're supposed to use a torque wrench and crank that to like 25 foot-pounds. And believe it or not, I'm one of those stupid idiot guys that does have a torque wrench. Click it on here, crank down to where 25 pounds. You hear that click? There it is. Now I'll hold it down while I'm doing the adjustment, okay? One more thing, if you're attempting this, I think I put it on a post, but that way I'll let you know. When you're taking these pulleys off, okay? These are the bolts that came with it, okay? They're grade 8s. They're full thread, 2 inches. And to take off these pulleys, you loosen these out, pull them all the way out, okay? These extra holes on here is what you're gonna take those bolts out and screw them back in. And you put them all 3 spots. You thread them in slowly, and it pulls the pulley out. You don't use a puller. This is what's used to pull that out. There's a keyway here, and right up here, there's an Allen. Make sure you take that Allen, back it all the way out first, okay? Now, someone else made a post saying, oh, their belt was hitting over here. It was too close in that way. Well, that meant that their pulleys were reinstalled too close. And I found a trick. What I did was the same Allen key that I used to take off that pulley. I pulled the Allen key out. I went in the back, put that down where the Allen key slot is, held it there, and when you're pulling this back in, it'll stop the keyway. Otherwise, your keyway will totally disappear on you. Go that way. It'll also give you the proper gap to keep your gap here. Same gap here, you put the same gap there. That way your pulleys are evenly running, okay? I'll tell you another trick. If you ever pull these pulleys off, before you do, go down to your auto parts store or hardware store and get make sure that these bolts that you're going to get are grade 8 and they're full thread all the way up top. I used some Dormans, grade 8. There's your port number, 960720D. 3 of them come in a pack. They're like $4 at O'Reilly's. They're 3/8 by 16 by 2 inches. Hex bolts, grade 8, okay? See, that way, because these things will get fatigued on you, okay? So we use brand new ones every time we work on these pulleys. All right, trying to think of anything else I could tell you. Eesh. Everything's been going good. When I open up the other side, I'll make another video of adjusting the clutch. And somebody mentioned that they lost 4 clutches already on one of these machines. I suggested to them, I think I know why. If you want one of these machines and you're a tree company, either you use this machine or your #1 employee. Don't keep giving every Tom, Dick, and Harry to run this machine. Because on a belt-operated machine, what they'll do is they'll drive this thing so hard, they'll keep stopping that wheel. Bam, bam. When a guy doesn't know how to stumps, that's what they'll do. Doesn't know how to do it. What that does, okay, puts pressure on your belts, so smoke them. And if you see, my belt already, even though I'm trying to get along, it has a little cut here, but I've got another set. I keep it in the truck. I'm going to run this belt for a little longer, see how long I can get. But when that wheel stops as a hard slam, I don't care if you have a Vermeer 252, a Vermeer 352, or one of these machines, or any of your machines have electronic clutch on it, okay? I've been in this business 20 freaking years. What takes the load when that wheel stops? If that belt is you adjusted it way too hard, that clutch is going to take a hammer. Those are electronic clutches, all right? And they're activated to where they grab. There's wires running into it, says electricity, and they'll, like a magnet. So exactly what they are, a magnet. And they'll slam up, okay? But every time that wheel is getting hammered, and gets locked up, and if your belts are really too tight, something has to give on this machine. And what'll give is that clutch, hammer, move. And if anyone, I know there's guys on this site or guys are watching this video has had machines before, that the electronic clutch goes out. 252 on Vermeers were notorious for it, okay? And 352s were too, the older ones. Something has to give in the system, all right? But they're not hard to change. If you change them with an impact because you're coming off of the engine here. Otherwise, you're turning the belts where you're tight. That's a different story. I'll show you that later, okay? So far, 600 hours, same clutch, no problem. I just lost that bearing. You saw that in the other video. I changed that. Hey, still making money with this baby. I still love her. She's got a little quirks, but I'm still loving her. That one, I can't wait to get her back together. That's my main cheese, okay? Anyway, hey, it ain't Sunday, it's Monday, but who loves you guys? Hey, I'm sorry, I thought it was over. One more important thing about the pulleys. It's really, really important. Make sure you have a torque wrench, okay? And these bolts, if you look up 3/8 and the torque specs, okay? Those bolts will torque out about 44 foot-pounds of pressure. If you use a big impact to put them on, you'll freaking destroy them. They'll twist off and then you'll be trying to drill them out, okay? So remember, grade 8, and how you put them on is you put them on like a cylinder head. I've told guys, get them started with a light, you torque a little bit, you torque a little bit, torque a little bit, cross, torque, till you get your click, all right? Don't be a bulldog with them, otherwise you'll be screaming and cursing, all right? I want you all, I want it easy. I want everybody to be able to fix their machines on their own in case you don't have a dealer like I ain't got a dealer, all right? Anyway, once again, God bless. Sorry I didn't tell you before, but hey, I'm human.